Welcome to a quick overview of the Desmos Activity Builder. To create a new activity, visit teacher.desmos.com and select Custom from the left sidebar. Next, click New Activity. Enter a title, and then click Start Building. Next, add one or more components to the screen. Here I'll add a graph and a note. Once you've customized your components, consider adding a screen title. Click here to add as many new screens as you need. Throughout authoring, or at the end when you think you're finished, consider previewing the activity from a student's perspective. Once you're happy with your activity results, select the Details tab, enter a description, and then click Done. Now you're ready to launch the activity by creating a class code to share with your students. Or, to share the activity with a colleague, select Share Activity from the three dots menu here at the top right. First, select Graph from the menu of components. You'll see an interface that is nearly identical to the Desmos graphing calculator. Next, add your desired expressions. Here, I'll build a movable point. Let's click Preview to see what this looks like for students. In Activity Builder authoring, folders have a powerful extra feature, the ability to hide folder contents from students. Let's add a folder, drag my expressions inside, and then select Hide from Students. Now when I preview, the expression list appears empty. Use this feature to hide expressions that you don't want students to see or tamper with. So far, we've been looking at full-screen graphs. Add one or more additional components, for example, maybe a note and a student input, and Desmos automatically converts the graph to a half-screen exhibit. Note that students can still interact with the graph paper and everything inside it, but the expression list is hidden from view, meaning that students cannot contribute additional expressions. Let's add some text to the note component, and then use Preview to see what this screen will look like for students. It's worth noting that graph components, whether full screen or half screen, are often the core element of most Desmos activities. With that in mind, one of the best ways to boost your activity building skills is to level up your calculator chops. First, select Sketch from the list of components. The simplest version of Sketch is just a blank canvas with a screen title. Here's what it looks like from the student perspective. There are three options for the sketch background. Click here to choose between blank background, editable graph, and custom image. If you add additional components, for example, a note and input, the sketch is converted to half screen. This can be helpful when the prompt won't quite fit in the screen title, or when you want students to explain what they've done in the sketch. Likewise, when asking students to analyze something in the coordinate plane, you might use a sketch with a graph background and invite them to use the sketch tool to help illustrate their thinking. To add an image or video to an activity screen, select Media from the list of components. You can drag a file directly onto this space, or click here to choose a file for upload. As with other components, like Graph and Sketch, including other elements on the screen will automatically convert the image or video to half size. Whether you're calling attention to some feature of a graph or asking students to reflect on something they've just done, note components can play a key role in any activity. You can enter text, math, or a combination of the two. To enter math, click the f of x icon in the lower right corner. Or, press the backtick key on your keyboard, usually located right above Tab and below Escape. Use Student Preview to see what the note will look like from the student perspective. Inputs come in two flavors, text entry and math entry. To get started with either one, select Input from the menu. The default setting is text. Use this when you want students to respond with anything between a single word and an entire paragraph. To switch to math entry, simply click here. Use this when you want students to enter a number, expression, or equation. Here's what each one looks like from the student perspective. Students can submit their responses by pressing Enter or Return on the keyboard, or by pressing this Submit button here. One last thing. By default, Desmos will show students 3 random peer responses after they've submitted their own. This can be helpful for sparking classroom discussions, or for allowing students to reflect on their own thinking in relation to others. When you don't want students to see peer responses, for example, during a practice activity or an assessment of some kind, simply uncheck the box here, and students will no longer see what their classmates said on that screen. You can find more how-to videos, including resources for creating your own Desmos activities, at learn.desmos.com/create. To get started, select Choice from the list of components. We offer 3 styles of multiple choice. Explain, where students make a choice and then explain their reasoning. Simple, where students simply choose an answer. And multi-select, where students can select more than one answer, or just one, or even 0. Activity authors can enter 4 types of answer choices: text, math, image, and graph. We'll even auto-detect math expressions, though you can undo anything you'd prefer to leave in text form. Some multiple choice questions don't have a right answer. Rather, they're intended to gather student thinking and spark class discussion. But for those questions that do, simply click the choice or choices that you want to mark as correct. Click Preview to see what these questions look like from the student perspective. First up, choose and explain. Next, simple choice. And finally, multi-select. At Desmos, we're big fans of card sort activities. We especially love all the rich discussions we've seen them generate in classrooms over the years. We've added a card sort tool to our activity builder that we think makes it even easier for teachers to create, deliver, and most important of all, facilitate discussions around card sort activities. So let's take a quick look at how to create one in Activity Builder. On a blank activity screen, click the Labs menu and select Card Sort. The entire card sort will be contained within this one screen. You can use it as a standalone activity or add introductory or follow-up screens and simply use the card sort as a part of your larger activity. There are 3 card types available: text, which also includes math text, image, and graph. Let's add 2 of each type. To edit a text card, simply click and begin typing. To enter math text, click the f of x icon in the corner. It's worth mentioning here that you can include both math and regular text in a single card. To add an image, click the image card and select a file. You can also add an image by dragging a file onto the card. To add a graph, click the card, enter 1 or more expressions, adjust the window if you want, and click Done. Let's click Preview to see what the card sort looks like from the student perspective. Students can reposition cards, group them together, remove them from a group, click to show a larger view, move an entire group of cards, and even collapse and expand a given group. If your card sort has an answer key, you can add it by clicking here. Simply drag the cards into their respective groups, and then click Done to move on. And that's it. We've got our very own Desmos-powered card sort.